That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives.
It is a wonderful and astonishing thing to me that we are, you and I, are somehow at least one of the ways that the universe knows itself.
Those worlds in space are as countless as all the grains of sand on all the beaches of the earth. Each of those worlds is as real as ours. In every one of them, there's a succession of incidents, events, occurrences, which influence its future.
We are special because we're the same. We are one, not only with each other, but with the universe itself.
Oh, I know Hamlet, and what he might say with irony, I say with conviction. What a piece of work is man! How noble it is, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god.
It is the struggle itself that is most important. We must strive to be more than we are, Law. It does not matter that we will never reach our ultimate goal. The effort yields its own rewards.
Let's rock and roll!
6.
Why don't you come with me?
love, let the sound take you away. Last night I hold her let land, and so wish that I could stay. Before the thing could answer me, well, someone came and took the lamp away. I looked around, a lousy candles all out. Well, you don't know what we can find. Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a magic carpet ride? Well, you don't know what we can see. Why don't you tell your dreams to me? Fantasy will set you free.
Hello, greetings. In behalf of the officers and crew of the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, we welcome you. I am Professor June Cajigal, and tonight is a very special night for all of us. Now, this event, the International Observe the Moon Night, is a time to come together with fellow moon enthusiasts and curious people worldwide. So this is a worldwide event, and I'm so happy that BSYA is a part of this international astronomical event. So everyone on Earth is invited to learn about lunar science and exploration, and to take part in celestial observations and honor cultural and personal connections to the moon. Now, this event, the International Observe the Moon Night, occurs annually in September or October when the moon is around the first quarter, which is a good phase for lunar observation. But tonight, the moon is in its waxing gibbous phase. But that's okay, we can still view the surface of the moon using a telescope, and still you will be amazed of the moon even without the telescope. Now, before the COVID-19 pandemic, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, together with the Manila Street Astronomers, we usually conduct free public telescope viewings at parks, malls, and other public places. We set up our large telescopes, and we allow the public to view the moon, the planets, the stars for free, so that we could inspire young minds to love not only astronomy but the sciences. But unfortunately, because of this pandemic, we are not allowed anymore to conduct these free public telescope viewings. So the best thing that we can do right now is to do things virtually. The BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers had this live stream Facebook event. So what I did is I set up a telescope in our backyard, and I have attached a webcam in the eyepiece of the telescope. The webcam is connected to my computer, so the images of the moon can be seen in the computer, and together with the officers and crew of BSYA, we broadcast those images of the moon through Facebook Live. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will share with you some of those images that I took in line with our celebration of the International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, and also I will be lecturing on the moon. So I call this the secrets of the moon. Then I'll be sharing with you some of the images that I took of the moon. So this will be an exciting night for all of us. So we will be focusing on the moon, okay, through my lecture, The Secrets of the Moon, plus I will be sharing some of the images that I took of the moon. So that's exciting, isn't it? Okay, so just sit back and relax, and let's learn about the moon. Hello, and welcome to this virtual lecture entitled The Secrets of the Moon. I am Professor Jun Cajigal from the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, and tonight is a special night for all of us. So tonight, this virtual lecture is just fitting for the occasion. So we will now reveal the secrets of the moon. Now, the moon is our only natural satellite. And in terms of its distance from the Earth, the moon is about 238,900 miles, or that's about 384,000 kilometers from the Earth. So that's the distance of the Earth from the moon. So that's about 384,400 kilometers. So that means that about 30 Earths can fit in that distance between the Earth and the moon. So 30 Earth diameters can fit between that orbit from the Earth and the moon. And about 101 moons can fit in that distance between the Earth and the moon. Okay, so isn't that really fascinating? Right? So 30 Earths can fit in that distance between the moon and the Earth, and 101 moons can fit between the Earth and the moon. So that's quite fascinating indeed. And you will be surprised that all the planets can fit between the Earth and the moon. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune can fit in that distance between the Earth and the moon. And about 8,030 kilometers, or about 4,990 miles of space to spare. So that's quite really fascinating indeed. Okay, so in terms now of its size, the moon's diameter is about 2,159 miles, or that's about 3,476 kilometers, about 27% of the diameter of the Earth. Or we can say that the moon is about a quarter of the Earth's diameter. So that's the size of the moon in comparison to the size of the Earth. Okay, so again, the moon is about 3,476 kilometers in diameter. The Earth is about 12,800 kilometers in diameter. So we can say that the moon is about a quarter of the Earth's diameter. Okay, so in the next slide, we have here our moon in comparison with the other moons in the solar system. So if you will just follow my cursor, so this is our moon. So the moon is slightly bigger than Europa. Europa is one of the moons of Jupiter. And Io, this is Io, which is also a moon of Jupiter, is larger than our own moon. Okay, Callisto is also larger than our own moon. The largest moon in the solar system is Ganymede. Okay, Ganymede is a moon, one of the 4 largest moons of Jupiter, as discovered by Galileo. Alright, so Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. Alright, but Mars is slightly bigger than Ganymede. Okay, so this is our own moon in comparison with the other moons of the solar system. Now, that's really interesting about the size of the moon in comparison to the other planets in our solar system. Now, the moon spins on its axis once every 27 days. So the moon's rotation means that its day is almost 2 weeks long, and then its dark also is for 2 weeks. And you will be surprised that the moon orbits the earth once every 27 days. So, as you could see, the moon spins on its axis every 27 days, and the moon orbits the earth, or the moon revolves around the earth every 27 days. So that means that the rotation of the moon on its axis is almost the same as its revolution around the earth. Now, this phenomena, wherein the rotational period of the moon is the same as its revolution around the earth, is known as synchronous rotation. So the moon orbits the earth once every 27 days, and also the moon takes about 27 days to revolve around the earth. So this is called synchronous rotation. And this is the reason why we only see one side of the moon. And that side of the moon that perpetually faces the earth is known as the near side of the moon. Okay? So this is the reason why we only see one side of the moon. It is because of its synchronous rotation. The moon is in synchronous rotation with the earth. Okay? And because of that, we only see one side of the moon. That side of the moon that perpetually faces the earth is known as the near side of the moon. And the opposite side is called the far side of the moon. No one has seen yet the far side of the moon until a Russian space probe visited the moon in 1959. The far side of the moon was first observed by humans in 1959 when the unmanned Soviet Luna 3 mission orbited the moon and photographed the far side of the moon. Now that really was an interesting aspect of the moon called synchronous rotation. And because of this synchronous rotation, we only see one side of the moon, and that's the near side. Okay, and we were able to see only the far side of the moon through the Soviet Luna 3 mission. Okay, let's talk about now the moon's albedo. Now, when you say albedo, this refers to the amount of light that a planet or a moon reflects back into space. And the moon's albedo is quite low. The moon's albedo is only 0.10 compared to Earth, which is 0.39. Now, in spite of the albedo of the moon appears bright in the night sky, not because it is highly reflective, but it is close to us. Okay? So the moon looks bright in our sky, not because it is highly reflective, but because the moon is so close to us. Okay? The albedo of the moon, like the Earth, varies depending on the terrain, varying from 5 to 10% for the Maria or seas to between 12 to 16% for the lunar highlands. Now, this is the reason why when we look through a telescope, the Marias or the seas appear darker, okay, as compared to the lunar highlands and the impact craters, which are brighter as we look at it through a telescope. The dark areas or the dark patches of the moon, they are called seas by early sailors, but these are actually lunar plains. And the bright areas of the moon that's more reflective are the lunar highlands and impact craters. Okay, so everybody, I want you now to take a look at this photograph of the moon. Now, as you can see, those dark patches are called Marias or seas, as early sailors called them. Now, those dark patches are actually lunar plains. So they reflect less light as compared to the lunar highlands. So those bright areas that you see in the photograph are lunar highlands and impact craters. So they have higher albedo as compared to the Marias or seas or the lunar plains. Now the question is, why is it that the moon has a low albedo as compared to our planet? Now it has something to do with the material on the lunar surface. Now the bedrock of the moon's surface is covered by regolith. So take note, it's regolith. This is a layer of loose soil and rocks produced by meteorite impacts over the long history of the moon. Okay? And this regolith absorbs most of the light which falls on it. And that explains why the moon has a very low albedo of about only 0.10. Now that is really fascinating about the moon's albedo and the composition of the lunar soil. Alright, now let's talk about now the orbit of the moon around the earth. Now the orbit of the moon is not really a perfect circle, but the moon orbits around the earth in an elliptical path. So there are times wherein the moon is really close to the earth, and that's what we call the lunar perigee. And there are times wherein the moon is really far from the earth, and that's what we call the lunar apogee. Now, when the moon is at its perigee, or when the moon is really close to the earth, the moon looks slightly larger. Okay? And this phenomenon that we see when the moon is at its perigee is what we call a supermoon event. Okay? So when the moon is at its perigee, the moon looks slightly larger. Okay? So we call this a supermoon event. Okay? Alright, so that's fascinating indeed. And in 2020, we have observed several supermoon events. Alright, and the moon's orbit is tilted of about 0.5 degrees. So that's the tilt of the moon's orbit around the earth, about 5 degrees. Okay, so that's the tilt of the moon's orbit. And the tilt of the moon's axis is only 1.54 degrees as compared to the Earth's axial tilt, which is 23.44 degrees. So the tilt of the moon's axis is very small. And what does that mean? So the moon does not experience significant seasons, unlike here on Earth, since the actual tilt of the Earth is about 23.4 or 23.5 degrees. The Earth experiences significant seasonal changes. So we don't see that on the moon because the actual tilt of the moon is only 1.54 degrees. Okay, so that's the tilt of the lunar axis. So let's talk about now lunar phases. Now when we say lunar phases, this refers to the shape of the directly sunlit part of the moon as viewed here on Earth. So as the moon revolves around the Earth, and from our perspective here on Earth, we see the moon changing shape from night to night. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about this in more detail, about the phases of the moon. Okay, when the moon now is between the sun and the earth, we don't see the moon in the night sky. Okay, So the sunlit part of the moon is opposite our perspective here on Earth, so we don't see the moon. So this phase of the moon is called new moon. Okay? And as we observe the moon from night to night, the moon gradually appears in the night sky as a waxing crescent. Now when you say waxing, it means that the moon is gradually increasing in size. In about a week, we would be able to observe a first quarter moon. And this is what we are waiting for, especially for amateur astronomers like us. We are waiting for that first quarter moon because the first quarter moon really is one of the best phases for viewing the moon using a telescope. Most of the craters are really visible during the first quarter phase of the moon. Then, the moon, as the moon continues to revolve around the earth, we would see a waxing gibbous moon. So when you say gibbous, this is the phase between first quarter and full moon. That's waxing gibbous. The moon is shaped like an egg or an oblong-shaped moon. Alright, still the moon is fascinating to be observed during the waxing gibbous phase. In fact, tonight, September 26, the moon is in its waxing gibbous phase. Then after a week, we should be observing a full moon. A full moon occurs when the earth is between the sun and the moon. And it's really fascinating to observe a full moon through a telescope, especially if the full moon is in its supermoon phase. Okay, then about a week after the full moon, you will notice that the shape of the moon is slowly decreasing. And this is what we call waning. So after full moon, you will now be observing the waning gibbous moon. So the shape of the moon is also like an egg. So when you say waning gibbous, that's between full moon and the last quarter. Alright, then after a week, we will be observing the last quarter. And after last quarter, a week later, we will be observing the waning crescent moon. Until after 27 days or about a month, then we go back to the new moon. Okay, so that's how we observe the moon as it revolves around the earth. So the moon changes shape from night to night as we observe it here on earth and as the moon revolves around our planet. Now here is an animated illustration to further demonstrate the different phases of the moon. So as you could see, as the moon revolves around the earth, we see from our perspective that the moon changes shape from night to night because we only see that sunlit part of the moon as it revolves around the earth. So we observe that as the different phases of the moon. So quite fascinating indeed. Okay, so those are the different phases of the moon. New moon, then you have waxing crescent, then you have the first quarter, then waxing gibbous, then full moon, then waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and back to new moon. So that will take about 27 days or 1 month or isang buwan. And tonight, September 26, we will be observing the so-called waxing gibbous moon. And that's how we observe the moon as it revolves around the earth. Okay, so to continue, the moon has no atmosphere, so wala pong hangin sa buwan. And because of this, the sky appears dark even if you're on the bright side of the moon. So if you're on the lunar surface, like what the Apollo astronauts had experienced, the sky appears dark. even if you're on the bright side of the moon. So everybody, take a look at this photo of an Apollo astronaut on the lunar surface. Look at the background sky. So the sky appears dark. Okay, look at this photo of an Apollo astronaut on board the lunar rover. And look at the background sky. The background sky is dark. Again, because the moon has no atmosphere. So wala pong hangin sa buwan. Okay? And because the moon has no atmosphere, there is no sound transmission on the moon. Okay, hindi po pwedeng mag-travel ang sound waves sa buwan kasi wala pong air molecules sa buwan. Kung meron, very feeble. So there's no sound transmission on the moon. So ibig sabihin nito, pag nanood kayo ng sci-fi movie na ang setting po ay nasa buwan at may pumutok. Kunyari, pumutok po yung spaceship nila and pag narinig nyo yung putok na yon, imposible yon. There is no sound transmission on the moon. Okay? Now, through a telescope, the moon is scarred by millions of impact craters caused by comets, asteroids, and meteorites. Now, there is no atmosphere on the moon to help protect it from bombardment from these potential impactors. So that means that they don't burn up as they bombard the moon. Unlike here on Earth, we have an atmosphere, and as these meteorites enter the Earth's atmosphere, they burn up, but not on the moon. The moon has no atmosphere, so there is no way for these potential impactors to burn up. So they hit the moon's surface, creating those craters. Fascinating, isn't it? And many craters, including the Copernicus crater, exhibits patterns called rays. Okay, and these rays are caused by debris thrown out by the initial impact. This debris, called ejecta, can in turn create secondary craters when it falls back to the surface, as you could see in this picture of the Copernicus crater. Okay? Alright, so everybody, kindly take a look at this animated illustration of how an impact crater is created when an asteroid or a meteorite bombards the lunar surface. So you have that ejecta thrown out, and that would create those magnificent rays as seen here on Earth. Fascinating, isn't it? Okay. Okay. So these are photos of the Copernicus crater, and you could see here those rays radiating from the crater itself. Alright. So to continue, as seen through a telescope, there are dark patches and bright areas on the lunar surface. Those dark patches are actually lunar plains, and early sailors called them Maria or seas. And many astronomers believe that those dark areas or lunar plains are actually solidified pools of ancient basaltic lava. And the bright areas are lunar highlands and impact craters. Okay, so at this point, we will now proceed to our virtual moon gazing. So what I did is I have attached a webcam onto the eyepiece of the telescope. The webcam is hooked to my computer, so we can view the image of the moon virtually. Okay, so this is a virtual telescope viewing of the moon. So everybody just enjoy, sit back and enjoy the beauty of the moon virtually, since we cannot do yet any public telescope viewings. Okay, so everybody, let's watch this. Hi, and this is Professor Jun Cajigal. Welcome to this virtual online astronomy event. So we are here and we have this telescope already set up and we will be observing the moon. So come on, let's observe the moon.
Okay, it seems that there were technical difficulties, but either way, once again, I'm Shiva Matthew V. Cruz, and welcome to this year's BSYO. And once again, I am Shiva Matthew V. Cruz, and welcome to this year's International Observe the Space Night. So yeah, it's been a long day, and I'm quite excited to host this year's International Observe the Moon Night. So for those that don't know on what International Observe the Moon Night is, it is basically looking at the moon, but it was made by NASA, or the National Aeronautics Space Administration, and one of the reasons on why they made this was for us to be in awe of our closest cosmic neighbor, our only our only natural satellite, or in other words, our very own moon. Which, imagine kung hindi yung moon natin yung nandyan ngayon. Like, imagine kung Jupiter, or imagine na lang kung Saturn, or one of the moons of those planets. Like Earth wouldn't be what Earth is today if kung hindi yung moon yung nandyan noon. Ay, ngayon. My apologies. But kung ibang natural satellite yung nandyan ngayon, like for example, if it's Saturn or Jupiter, then basically magiging volcanic place yung Earth. But if you look at the sky, we question. And when we question, when we ask questions, we get curious. So we want to learn so that we can answer our own questions that we have set for ourselves. So when we find those answers, we've created discoveries. So yeah, that's why International Observe the Moon Night was made, so that it can serve as a source of inspiration for us to learn more about the history of the moon and science. But before I proceed or continue with what I want to talk about tonight, I would just like to give a very, very, very brief information. I want to just give a bit of information on what phase is the moon, or rather, what phase of the moon is happening tonight. Oh, my apologies for my English. I am a bit tired, but the phase that of the moon tonight is the waxing gibbous phase, which hindi sa mga di alam, parang half moon and full moon siya. Which kung di nyo man ulit alam, waxing means it is getting bigger, or rather it's growing, and gibbous means that more than half the moon is illuminated. Which ngayon which sa nakikita nyo right now sa stream, which kung di man ako sure kung yung nakikita ngayon sa stream or ngayon today is that 83% illumination yung nakikita ngayon. So what does this phase of the moon represent, or rather what does it symbolize? Well, this moon, or yung moon natin ngayon, yung phase ng moon natin ngayon, is that it represents the concept of final steps. Why? Because it is the time where people strive and work hard to complete their projects. Kasi yung moon is that it's striving to become full. Meron rin yung mga tao which they view at this phase as a sign of development, or in other words, it represents fruition. So we have to work hard for what we want, and the day that we will be rewarded, who knows when, but it will be a sign that our efforts are not going to waste. So right now, we are currently seeing once again the illumination of the moon at 83%. So guys, continuing on, I want to talk about the history of the moon. So continuing on, it's like I'm going crazy because I'm talking with myself, and it's kind of sad since wala talaga akong kausap. But continuing on, but speaking of the history of the moon, us humans have been staring at the moon for as long as we can remember. So sa lahat po ng mga nanonood right now, when was the first time that you first saw the moon and questioned yourself? Or if kung di nyo maalala yung first time, whenever you see the moon, what do you ask yourself and why? And do you know the answers? So, may mga nanonood ba or something? Pero, I just want to state pala na cloudy pala yung weather today. So, we cannot give a proper live telescope viewing, but for the sake of celebrating International Observe the Moon Night, we are doing this. So we are showing you a picture, or rather a live observation, not really a live one, but rather on what the moon is tonight, but not in a way where we normally do it, which yung paggagamit ng telescope. So, continuing on, what I was talking about earlier, speaking of the moon, of the history of the moon, us humans have been staring at it for as long as we can. So, sa mga nanonood dyan, kung may mga sagot kayo man or whatsoever, or sa mga officers na nanonood dyan ngayon, I just want to ask you guys, para naman interactive yung mismong live stream right now, because it's very, very lonely, very, very sad na I'm talking by myself, and I don't have anyone to talk to. So I want to engage with my audience, and especially to the officers that are watching this live stream right now. Guys, so when you first saw the moon, what do you think of? Or kung di nyo man maalala, whenever you look at the moon, what do you first think of? So, ala po ba dyan? So, okay. So, that's kind of sad. Wala talaga ang partner. But, either... Oh, hello, sir. But... Hello? Hello, sir. Good evening. Good evening po, sir. oh, it seems that Sir June is having technical difficulties. But sir, I would just like to ask you po, since I'm just talking with myself, but whenever you see the moon po, whenever you see the moon, what do you think of, sir? What do you ask yourself at times?
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Shiba Cruz. First of all, I would like to greet everybody sa mga nanonood ngayon dito sa Facebook Live. Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Shiba Cruz. I'm sure talagang busy ka ngayon, no? So I'm here to help you out in hosting this very important and significant event po ngayong taon na ito, which is the International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, and yung tanong ni Mr. Shiba Cruz kanina, as kung nakikita ko yung buwan, every time I see the moon, I feel so relaxed. Yan, nakaka-relax kasi pag tumitingin po tayo sa buwan, di ba? So siguro bago tayong magpagpatuloy, Mr. Shiba Cruz, if you feel the same thing, kung nakaka-relax po yung buwan sa inyo po, just comment down below sa ating comment section. Okay, and later, mayroon tayong pa-contest sa gabing ito in celebration of International Observe the Moon Night. So magtatanong kami ni Mr. Shiba Cruz ng mga questions about the moon. And meron tayong meron tayong pa-premyo.
Yes.
Pang-load po ninyo. Yan. So, isn't that exciting, no? Alright. So, ayan po yung ating buwan. Pagpapasensyahan nyo na lang po, mga ka-spacers out there, kasi medyo ang ulap po. Kanina okay na okay. And si Mr. Dudes Perea, yung aking kasama sa BSYA, he is actually the moderator BSYA Alabang. Buti nakakuha pa siya ng magandang moon image. If you will look at his Facebook account. Pero kanina bago mag 7:30 bigla na lang naging maulap. So what we are presenting to you right now on screen sa ating Facebook Live is the image of the moon, kagaya lang sinabi ni Shiba, at 83% illumination. So this is called the Waxing Gibbous Moon. So halos pareho din po yan, kaya lang talagang napakaulap po. Nakasetup na po talaga yung aking telescope kanina and bigla na lang naging maulap. So we would like to apologize at hindi to talagang virtual telescope viewing, pero this computer simulation will serve the purpose, at least para makita niyo, para na rin po tayong nakasilip sa telescope. Ayan po. And hopefully, sana bago tayo magtapos ngayong gabi, ma-tsempohan ulit natin yung moon na medyo clear. So, hintayin lang po natin ng konti. Okay. Alright, Mr. Shiba Cruz, wala ka bang gustong batiin? Magpapa-shoutout lang muna ako. May mga may mga nag-comment, nag-heart react. Shoutout po tayo kay Mr. Renz Guyver Calianta. Ba, okay yung pangalan ni Sir. Guyver, parang MacGyver. If you're familiar with MacGyver, yung TV series, paborito ko din yan nung bata ko. Okay. Wala ka bang pa-shoutout dyan, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
Pa-shoutout naman po sa mga sa tech committee head natin, which siya yung nagsi-stream right now ng anong pangalan nun, sir? Yung simulated na moon natin tonight. So thank you Philip. And yes sir, yun lang naman po right now since wala po namang pa-shoutout rin kay Nicole Quijano.
Ayan po. Okay, so and shoutout din po kay Miss Ella Therese Galvez from ADZU. Ano po yung ADZU? Is that a school?
Ateneo de Zamboanga, sir.
Wow! Ateneo de Zamboanga. Wow! Abot pa tayo pa lang hanggang Zamboanga. So maraming salamat, Miss Ella Therese Galvez. So siguro sa Zamboanga, very clear yung sky dyan sa inyo. Can you check, Miss Galvez, kung clear ang sky? Kasi dito sa Las Piñas, dito sa Manila cloudy kasi parang 'di ba may yung buntot pa to ng bagyong Maring eh.
Yes, sir.
Yan
Like,
so
cloudy nga rin, sir, sa amin like really cloudy.
oo, at mukhang uulan pa. Okay, and shout out din kay Miss Nicole Quijano. Hi daw, Shiba. Ayan, so mukhang sounds fishy, Mr. Shiba ko. Sino to si Nicole Quijano? Ayan. Okay, and hello din po daw, sir. Ayan, maraming salamat, Miss Nicole Quijano, for watching. So, mga ka-spacers out there, you are now watching a simulated image of the Waxing Gibbous Moon at 83% illumination using a computer program called Stellarium. Okay? So, ito po yung ating Waxing Gibbous Moon. Kagaya lang sinabi ni Mr. Shiba, ito yung between first quarter and full moon. And kung mapapansin ninyo mga ka-spacers, ito po ay egg shape. Yung moon is egg shape or oval in shape. And sa ating computer simulation talagang kitang-kita ang mga details like yung mga dark patches na yan na nakikita nyo. So those dark patches of the moon that you see in our computer image simulation are actually lunar plains or Marias. Ayan. Okay, and early sailors, they thought that those dark patches are actually bodies of water. Kaya tinawag yung Marias or seas. And the most famous patch, yung dark patch na yan, is the Sea of Tranquility, kung saan naglanding yung Apollo 11. Okay, so ayan, Mr. Shiba Cruz, may si Miss Nicole Quijano, sabi niya, sir, wrong girl po ako. Wrong girl daw. Okay. Ayan, so natawa si Mr. Jobic R. Inson. Ayan, okay. So sa mga nanonood po natin ngayon, we have 13 viewers now. Ayan, so please like and share itong ating celebration of International Observe the Moon Night. So, maghintayin na rin po tayo ng konti, baka mag-clear na po yung skies, and I will set up my telescope para sa ating live virtual telescope viewing. Okay? Mr. Shiba Cruz, wala ka bang gustong batiin before we continue?
At the moment, sir, to be honest, when it comes to mind po kasi I'm really like a bit sad po na we don't get to view the moon using your telescope, sir. So nothing comes to mind, sir, but right now I'm just very, very happy, sir, to co-host with you with this particular event, sir. So it's really an honor po.
The honor is mine, Mr. Shiba Cruz, dahil alam kong magaling kang mag-host. Okay, so kagaya po ng sinabi natin kanina, ayan, meron tayong pa-contest ngayon gabi. Okay, it's already 8:05 and alam kong excited na si Nicole na manalo ng pang-ayuda, pang-paload. Ayan, okay? Alright, so are we ready now for our first question for tonight? Ayan, so siguro salitan tayo, Shiba. So ako muna sa first question, then ikaw yung susunod sa second question. So guys, yung mga nakatutok po ngayon, mga ka-spacers natin out there, are you ready for our first moon quiz question? Okay, ayan kung nakinig kayo kanina doon sa lecture ko doon sa Secrets of the Moon. Ayan, sana masasagot nyo ito kasi nasabi ko to kanina doon sa Secrets of the Moon. Okay, so ayan guys, get ready. Paunahan ito kung sino yung mauunang sumagot. And sa ating mga monitors, yung BSYA officers, kindly monitor yung ating comment section para dun sa mauunang sumagot sa ating question para sa ating moon quiz. Alright, so ang tanong, mga ka-spacers, who was the first man to set foot on the moon? Letter, who was the first man to set foot on the moon? Type in your answers now! Go, go, go! Ayan. Who was the first man to set foot on the moon, mga ka-spacers? Sige, sagot. Ayan, okay. So, madali lang yan, mga ka-spacers, no? Sino ba yung unang astronaut na nakaapak sa buwan? No? Sino kaya, Mr. Shiba, no? Naku, napakahirap. Okay, so meron na tayo. Meron na tayong winner. Siya yung nauna. Okay, maraming salamat Mr. Joshua Biteng. Okay, ang sagot niya ay Neil Armstrong. Okay, palakpakan natin. Okay, Joshua Biteng. Taga saan ka, Mr. Joshua Biteng? Paki-type in kung taga saan ka. Ayan, so ang sagot ni Mr. Joshua Biteng ay Neil Armstrong. Okay, so maraming salamat for tuning in sa ating live telecast ng International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, so later, Ilocos Sur, wow! Okay, Ilocos Sur, we are live. Nakakaabot tayo sa Ilocos Sur. Mr. Shiba Cruz, biruin mo yun. Talaga naman, iba na talaga. Iba talaga ang BSYA. Okay, maraming salamat Mr. Biteng, and please message us dun sa aming Facebook page, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Kindly give us your GCash and you will win cash prize na tamang-tama na pang-loan. Okay? So, Mr. Biteng, marami pong salamat. Ayan, and huwag mo lang kalilimutan na Mr. Biteng yung iyong GCash account dun sa aming Facebook page, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Dun sa inbox, message us. Bigyan nyo sa aming iyong GCash account para matanggap mo kaagad in real time ang iyong papremyo. Yan, tamang-tama, may pang-load ka na, Mr. Biteng. So maraming salamat for joining sa pagsagot nyo. Neil Armstrong was the first man to set foot on the moon. Okay ba, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
Yes,
Piroy
sir.
mo,
Yes.
Ilocos Sur, no?
Yes,
Alam mo
sir,
ba yung...
Ano, sir?
Nakapunta ka na ba sa Ilocos Sur?
Sir, I'm from Ilocos Norte.
Wow! Saan ka sa Ilocos
Yes.
Norte?
Sa Lawag po, sa Lawag.
Lawag, wow! Wow, namimiss ko na nga yung magkababayan pala tayo. So, namimiss ko na nga yung langgonisa eh. Yung maliliit
yes,
na langgonisa.
sir. Masarap talaga, sir, yung mga longganisa sa Ilocos, sir. The best. One of the best.
Saka yung bagnet. Ayan, okay.
Yeah,
Favorite ko yung bagnet na yan. Oo, pampahaba ng buhay. Okay. Alright, so mga ka-spacers out there, so kung gusto nyo po magpa-shoutout, mag-type lang po kayo sa ating comment section below. Yan, at babatiin po namin kayo live. We are now live po sa Facebook. Okay. So itong ginagawa po natin, this is an astronomy event. Walang halong politika, walang showbiz. This is purely astronomy. And again, you are viewing the Waxing Gibbous Moon using this computer program called Stellarium. Kasi nga po maulap, and nakakalungkot lang talaga kung may event, talagang maulap. Kung wala namang event, clear yung sky. Baliktad, no, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
Yes, sir nga eh. Like, kahapon ba? Hindi ba maulan? Maulan ba kahapon, sir?
Oo, maulan din kahapon eh. Maulan din. Oo, nung hapon nga, lakas ng ulan kahapon. Oo.
Sir,
So kinabahan nga ako eh. Kinakabahan ako eh. Oo.
Wrong
Pero buti
timing
na lang.
talaga, sir,
Oo,
no?
wrong timing. Buti na lang may
timing
plan B
talaga.
tayo. Nag-plan B tayo itong Stellarium computer simulation. Okay,
At least may
so... Oo, kaysa wala tayong mapakita sa ating mga suki natin out there, mga ka-spacers natin. At least may mapakita tayong image ng buwan. And by the way, mga ka-spacers, kung meron kayong may share, kasi dito sa Manila, talagang maulap. Pero sa Mindanao, like yung kay Miss Galvez, siguro clear yung sky sa Mindanao. If you can take a picture of the moon, bibigyan din po namin kayo ng konting pang-ayuda package. Share your moon photos with us.
So,
Opo,
guys,
and kasi dito talagang maulap, mukhang negative tayo dito sa Manila, pero I'm sure in other places there in the Philippines, clear yung sky. So kindly share your moon photos with us, and we will present your moon photos dito po sa ating live telecast ng International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, Mr. Shiba Cruz, baka may mga nagpapa-shoutout pa. Go ahead.
Ayun, pa-shoutout muna po sa president namin po ngayon na sadly hindi makaka-attend kasi she's not feeling well. So, pa-shoutout kay Angeline Kilang. Sorry. But either way, sir, should we continue with the second question po? Because marami pa pong naghihintay po dyan, sir, na gustong manalo po ng 50 pesos po eh.
Okay, I hope our officers ng BSYA ay na-note down ng ating first winner, si Mr. Joshua Biteng. Okay, ng Ilocos Sur. Okay, so ayan, excited na si Mr. Renz Giver Calianta dun sa susunod na tanong dahil sabi niya, isa lang po ang tanong, sir. Ayan. Ayan, so gusto ata niya ng
Ready, sir.
Ready na. Ayan, siguro bago tayo magtanong, ayan, nakikita natin, minamagnify ko yung image ng moon. Ayan po mga ka-spacers, tutok muna po kayo and ginigit na ako po itong napakalaking crater na to, which is called the Copernicus crater. Okay? And mga ka-spacers, hindi nyo ba alam na yung Copernicus crater na yan ay napakalaki? Kasing laki pa yan, mas malaki pa ata yan kaysa sa Las Piñas. Okay, so this is the Copernicus crater po, nakikita nyo po sa inyong mga screens. Okay, so very fascinating indeed. That's the Copernicus crater. Baka mas malaki pa nga yan sa lungsod ng Manila. Okay. It's about 93 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, 93 kilometers in diameter. So, malaki yun. Alright. And, ayan. And you can see those surrounding the rim of the crater, may mga puti-puti. Those are actually rays. Mga ejecta yan from the moon because the Copernicus crater was created from an impact event. So, tinamaan yan ng isang huge asteroid or that created the Copernicus crater. Ayan po. And ginagalaw po na ngayon natin yung image ng moon. You could see there the Montes Apenninus mountain range. Ayan, so napakahabang mountain range yan sa moon. Ayan, sana makakita natin to na live. Okay? Ayan, so okay, maulap kasi dito eh. Alright, that's the Montes Apenninus mountain range. And ito, yung mga dark patches na nakikita nyo sa ating lunar image, those are lunar plains, mga patag po yan ng buwan. And yung mga bright areas ng buwan, those are lunar highlands and impact craters. Yung mga puti-puti na nakikita nyo po sa ating image, those are impact craters. Ayan po, ang ginigitna ko po ngayon, yan yung Sea of Tranquility, kung saan naglanding yung Apollo 11. Alright. So, ayan. Fascinating indeed. No, Mr. Shiba Cruz, anong masasabi mo dyan?
Yung mga sinabi mo, sir, is very, very informative. Actually po, sir, is that I've only, to be honest lang po, sir, I've only known, sir, about the Tycho Brahe crater, yung pinangalanan po ni Tycho Brahe, which yung brightest part of the moon ata yun, sir. Yung brightest na crater, sir. Yun yes, ba yun, sir? Tama ba ako?
Yes, nasa baba yan, pinakita ko na kanina. Yung Tycho crater, nasa baba, oo. Ayan, so kung nakita nyo din po mga ka-spacers, yung Tycho crater, comment down po below. Ayan, mag-comment po kayo, gusto namin po malaman kung taga saan kayo, just type in your name and just indicate your location para i-shoutout din po namin kayo. Wag po kayong mahiya, mag-comment po kayo. Gusto po namin marinig ang inyong mga comments, yung mga reactions nyo about our lunar image tonight in celebration of International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, maraming salamat.
Guys, and guys, wag naman kayo rin na mahiya to share us what you know about the moon. Like, that would be very, 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 very useful, and it would make our very own live stream very interactive. So guys, wag kayong mahiya. Just like Sir June and I said, share whatever you think of, guys. Wag kayong mahiya. We will shout you out, and kung may questions kayo, me and Sir June will answer your questions. So,
yes. Yan, tama, Mr. Shiba Cruz, no? Okay, ito yung comment ni Miss Annalisa Dasok. Ayan, interested daw talaga si Miss Nicole Quijano. Saan kaya siya interested? Sana sa moon, no? Or baka interested si Miss Nicole Quijano kay Mr. Shiba Cruz.
What?
Okay, ayan, sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok. So maraming salamat Miss Annalisa Dasok for watching our stream. Please like and share po. Ikalat po natin itong live stream natin so that we could inspire more people to love astronomy. Ayan. And sabi ni Miss Nicole Quijano ulit, sa moon po, sir. Doon daw siya interested sa moon. Okay, and si Mr. Renz Guyver pala taga Imelda Integrated Secondary School sa Malabon. Okay, so shout out po sa mga taga Malabon. Maraming salamat for watching our stream tonight. Okay, so siguro second question na tayo, Mr. Shiba Cruz. Okay, wag na natin padagalin dahil I'm sure maraming nakatutok ngayon sa ating live stream tonight. Okay, so second question. Yan for our moon quiz. Ikaw na.
For our second, yes sir. Sige, thank you for that, sir. So the second question is, what is the moon phase after the first quarter? Guys, just chat it in the chat box or yung comment section natin sa Facebook right now kung gusto nyong manalo ng 50 pesos or pangpalod or konting pangpalod. Come on, guys. May sagot na ba? Sa mga monitors natin, may nakasagot na ba?
Okay, so ayan what is the moon phase after first quarter? Oh, napakadali lang yan mga ka-spacers. Type in your answers now. Go, go, go. Yan ang tanong.
It's very, very easy, guys. Kaya nyo yan.
What is the moon phase? Okay, specify nyo, Sir Calianta. Yan, paki-specify lang. Moon phase after first quarter. Yan. So, yung sagot ni Sir Calianta medyo general. So,
yes, sir.
Ayan, okay?
Ayan.
Ayan, okay. So, kaya lang, ang pangalawang nakasagot na naman ay si Sir Biteng. Oo, naunahan ni si Sir Calianta ni Mr. Biteng. Okay. Alright, so ang sagot ni Mr. Biteng ay Waxing Gibbous, which is correct! Ayan. Ayan, sayang Mr. Calianta, sayang. Naunahan kayo. Oo, dapat Waxing Gibbous yung sagot. Oo, dapat Waxing Gibbous. Pag waxing lang, pwede kasing waxing crescent, di ba? Or, yan. So, dapat Waxing Gibbous. Okay. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok daw, full moon daw, sabi ni Nicole Quijano. Okay. Alright, so nako, si Mr. Joshua Biteng ay nagiging mayaman na. Okay, so guys, we would like to encourage everybody, yung mga ka-spacers natin dyan, to watch our live stream in celebration of the International Observe the Moon Night. Okay? Ayan, so huwag mong kalilimutan na Mr. Calianta, unahan mo si Mr. Biting sa ating pangatlong tanong. Ayan,
Huwag mo
okay.
ibigay sa kanya lahat ng cash prize.
Ayan. Okay, so shout out tayo kay Miss Sydney Lee. Ayan, nanonood sa atin si Miss Sydney Lee, si Miss Galvez, and si Miss Nicole Quijano. Okay, medyo interested si Miss Nicole Quijano sa mga moon facts. So, again, yung mga dark patches na nakikita natin dito, those are plains. Ano yan? And they are made of regolith. Yung soil ng moon is called regolith. Medyo parang powdery siya. And naranasan ng mga astronauts, inapakan nila yung lunar surface, medyo lumubog ng konti yung may mga footprints diba silang nagawa. So, yun, the soil is called regolith. And yung albedo ng moon, kung mapapansin niyo, the albedo of the moon is only 0.10. Pag sinabi nating albedo, yung amount of light reflected. Okay, ngayon baka magtaka si Miss Quijano, sir, kung mababa yung albedo, bakit napakaliwanag ng buwan sa gabi, no? Again, because the moon is near. Malapit ang buwan sa atin eh. Okay, pero kahit malapit yung buwan, it took 4 days or 3 days for the Apollo spacecraft to reach the moon. So, malayo din yan. Okay? Ayan, so may nag-comment. Yan. Hindi chinat mo ko, sabi ni Annalisa. Okay, so ayan Miss Nicole Quijano. Yan, I gave you some interesting facts about the moon. So sana nag-enjoy kayo in watching our stream, and si Miss Annalisa Dasok, yan, maraming salamat. Okay, so ikaw, Mr. Shiba Cruz, ano pang masasabi mo about our moon?
Actually, sir, there are quite a few things that I want to say, but I just want to ask yung audience natin right now. This is walang cash prize to but this is what I want to ask. So, who do you, sir? Pati rin ikaw po, sir. I just want to ask you po, sir, kung kakilala niyo po ba kung sino to. But do you guys know who first mapped the moon? Who first drew the moon? Yung accurate na drawing niya. So, sir, may idea ka po ba kung sino?
Meron ba? Hindi ko alam yun Sino?
Actually, sir, a lot of people, sir, think that Galileo Galilei was the first to observe the moon. But it was not him. It was, actually, sir, it was Thomas Harriot, sir, who was the first one to draw the map of the moon. Which, yung ginamit niya po, sir, was the Dutch trunk or yung telescope, sir. But he was not the first one who made the first telescope. Actually, sir, they're still talking about it kung sino, sir, which they think it's Galileo Galilei. They think there are a lot of questions, sir, kung sino po, sir. But yung nagmap ng moon is si Thomas Harriot, and siya actually yung nag-revolutionize he's one of the people that revolutionized yung concept natin sa moon today, sir. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shiba. And yun nilang sinabi ni Mr. Renz Guyver Calianta. So, sabi ni Mr. Calianta, Thomas Harriot daw. Okay, so maraming salamat, Sir Calianta, for sharing to us that information, si Thomas Harriot. And guys, if you will take a look at our moon image, ayan, medyo ginigit na ako na po yung Tycho crater. Yung sinabi ni Mr. Shiba kanina. Okay, yan, nakikita nyo na po. Yan, that's the Tycho crater. And that crater was named after Tycho Brahe, who is one of the greatest of the naked eye astronomers. Alright, and I'm sure a lot of you know yung buhay ni Tycho Brahe. Hindi siya magaling sa math masyado, so he hired a mathematician to help him out, and si Johannes Kepler. Okay, and while partying, meron siyang nakaaway, and siguro sa galit nilang dalawa, nag-ispadahan sila, and na ano po yung ilong niya na hiwa ng espada. A lot of his chunk of his nose na inatanggal. That's why he's wearing a prosthetic nose. That's why in history he's called the man with the iron nose, si Tycho Brahe. Okay, ayan. And nakikita niyo on screen, again, yung Copernicus crater. Ayan, di ba? Isn't the moon fascinating? So, what do you think? So, if you find the moon fascinating, just comment down below. And ano bang naalala ninyo while looking at the moon? Sige, Mr. Shiba Cruz. Punta na tayo sa third question natin. Okay, we would like to encourage everybody to share this live stream to your friends, to your parents, to your loved ones, para makita rin nila yung ganda ng ating buwan kahit na simulated po ito, computer simulated siya. Okay, anyway, ganyan din po yung makikita natin sa telescope in a clear night sky. Okay. Alright, so we will now proceed to question number 3. Okay, so ang tanong, question number 3, paunahan to ha. Okay, ito sinabi ko to kanina while we are live. Yan, kung sana kung nakatutok po kayo, masasagot nyo to. Alright, where on the moon did the Apollo 11 lunar module landed? Alright, again, where on the moon did the Apollo 11 lunar module landed? Alright, type in your answers now. Go, go, go! Ayan.
Come on, guys. Come on. Kaya niyo yan.
Oh, wala pang sumasagot.
Oh my.
Sige,
baka
kaya niyo yan.
Sir.
Kaya niyo yan. Come on, guys. Sagot. Okay, so... Alright, yan. May nakasagot na, may nauna. Si Mr. Renz Calianta. Sabi niya, tranquility base. So we can accept that. Tranquility base. Or Sea of Tranquility. Yan. Okay? So, yung ating mga officers, kindly take note yung winner ng ating third question. Ayan, si Mr. Calianta, Renz, Giver. Ayan, si Sir Biteng, medyo nahuli na. Ang nauna si Mr. Calianta. Yung sagot niya is Tranquility Base or Sea of Tranquility. So, Mr. Calianta, please message sa BSYA, BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Kindly give your GCash account and we will give you something na matutuwa ka. Okay, so maraming salamat po. Ayun, sabi ni Kate Aquinos, wala po ko sinabi, sir. Ayan, so maraming salamat Miss Kate Aquino for watching our live stream tonight. And please like and share ha. Paki-like na lang and paki-share sa inyong mga loved ones, sa inyong mga relatives ang ating live stream so that we can inspire young minds to love astronomy. Ayan, and especially para mamangha po sila sa buwan. Ayan, as you're viewing right now, our magnified image of the moon. So ayan po, pinapakita ko yung magnified lunar image tonight. So, ito po yung, yan, ginigitna ko po yung Copernicus crater. And yan, pinapakita ko na rin po yung Tycho crater. Ayan. Yan, yung dalawang craters na yan, malalaki yan talaga. Itong Tycho crater, ayan, this is the Tycho crater. Ayan. And, yeah, malaki yan. Mas malaki pa ata yan sa Las Piñas. Okay? Ayan, so sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok, sir, chinat nila ako. Okay, so... yeah, maraming salamat Mr. Renz Giver Calianta for answering correctly our third question. Okay. So, Mr. Shiba Cruz, meron pa tayong isang tanong. Sige, go ahead. Sige, tuloy lang ang papremyo. Para masaya tayo mga ka-spacers. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo sa ating pa-premyo tonight. Okay, o sige, Mr. Shiba Cruz, let's now magpamigay pa tayo ng mga pa-premyo. Ako'y ginaganahan magpabigay ng premyo ngayon. Woo!
Come on, guys, meron pang mga tanong, guys. So, if you're guys worried that if this is the last question, maraming pang mga tanong. So, marami pa kaming iprepremyo, guys. So, sagot lang kayo. So, the fourth question is what do you call the dark patches or the dark areas of the moon? Type in the chat box your answers, guys. If you guys want to win 50 pesos. Panahan
okay,
to,
type in your answers now. Go, go, go. Woo! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Oh, sagot na, guys. Mga ka-spacers dyan. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok. Oh, sagot ka kay Miss Galvez. Come on.
Libreng 50 pesos yan.
Oo. Wala daw hint, sabi ni Miss Nicole. Oh, meron na. May nauna na. Oo.
Yes, sir.
Ako, talagang suking-suki. Yayaman to si Mr. Calianta. So, ang sagot ni Mr. Calianta ay Maria. Okay, yan. Maria. Nagplatuan natin. Yan. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Calianta. Naku, mayaman ka na. May 1 million ka na.
Sir,
okay.
sir, naglalaban po sila, sir, ni Sir Joshua eh.
Oo.
Para sa mga premyo.
Ang sabi ni Miss Ella Galvez, na may mental block daw siya. Bakit, Miss Galvez? Ano bang iniisip mo? Mahal ka din yan. Huwag ka mag-alala. Mahal ka din nun.
Yeah.
Okay. Sige, Mr. Shiba Cruz, baka meron pa gustong magpa-shoutout dyan.
Pa-shoutout. Di ko alam, sir, kung pinapanood niya po yung live stream right now, but pa-shoutout po sa mga magulang ko po. So, like, they're very, very supportive with my passion sa astronomy. So, pa-shoutout po sa kanila. Sir, nagtatanong po si Nicole Quijano kung magbibigay ba tayo ng hints? Magbibigay ba tayo, sir?
Sige, pwede. Doon sa susunod na tanong. Sige, bibigay tayo ng hint. Okay, so siguro gusto ko lang din na i-shout out ang mga nanonood ngayon na mga teachers. May mga nanonood na teachers po ngayon. Shout out kay Mr. Rainier de Jesus. Maraming salamat. And si Mr. JP Baribar. Ayan, maraming salamat. Thank you for watching our stream tonight. And shout out din kay Mr. Camilo Dacanay. He is watching. So, si Sir Camilo siya yung chairman of the board ng Philippine Astronomical Society. So, maraming salamat, sir. I'm sure you are in support of the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. Okay. Ayan, so sabi ni Miss Annalisa, hint daw. Okay. So, magbibigay ba tayo ng hint?
Ikaw, sir. Gusto mo ba, sir? Kasi
sige, go.
Willing, sir. Sige, sir.
Okay. Sige. Isa pang tanong. Sige, para masaya. Okay, nakailang tanong na ba tayo? Naka-apat na, no?
Sir. Apat. Yes, sir.
Sige, magpamigay pa tayo. Sige, para masaya. Alright, so, question number 5 na. No? Sige, ako na muna sa question number 5, Mr. Shiba Cruz. Alright, sige, so, question number 5, ang tanong, what day of the week is dedicated to the moon? Okay, again, I repeat, what day of the week is dedicated to the moon? Alright, type in your answers now. Go, go, go!
Guys, this is the only hint that I will be giving. Di ko alam kay sir, but di nyo to gusto. Yung day na to, di nyo to gusto. Kasi tinatamad pa kayo eh.
Tama, oo. Sige, go, go, go! Okay. Ayan, so nauna si Sir si Sir Galvez ulit. Ang bilis talaga ng kamay ni Sir Galvez.
Ang bilis
Oo,
ka, sir.
grabe.
Ang galing.
Ang galing. Okay, so pero sabi nila Miss Galvez, si Mr. Biteng, yan nakatama sila, Miss Dasok, and si Miss Nicole, sabi niya Lola. Alright, so and si Miss sabi ni Miss Quijano, sige na sir, isang hint. Binagbigay na ng hint si Shiba. Kaya lang, ang nauna si Mr. Kalianta Renz ulit. Naku, yayaman to. Monday daw, Monday. Okay, palapakan natin si Mr. Renz Kalianta. Okay, Monday.
Nagpa-farm siya ngayon, sir, Nagpa-farm ng pera. Yung mayaman.
Nagpa-farm siya ng pera. Sige, so yung mga nanonood ngayon, magpa-shoutout kayo if you are amazed at our lunar image. Ayan, sabihin nyo lang po. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Annalisa Datok, bagalan nyo naman. Sige, babagalan namin. Yan. Sabi ni Miss Quijano, Renz, masyado kang matalino. Ayan, okay. Ayan po mga ka-spacers, minamagnify po ulit natin yung image ng buwan. So, sana manghang-mangha po kayo. So, Miss Quijano, anong masasabi mo dito sa ating lunar image na nakamagnify ngayon? Ayan, sabi ni Miss Sydney Lee, ayan, bawi daw si Miss Quijano. Ayan, okay. So, ayan po yung mga dark patches na yan na nakikita nyo, those are lunar planes. Then, you could see the Copernicus crater. Ayan, malapit po sa terminator or terminal line. Yung terminator or terminal line, that's the imaginary line separating the lighted part from the unlighted part of the moon. And ito na yung Tycho crater, ayan, nakikita nyo po nasa baba po. Alright, so this is just a computer simulation of the lunar image using stellarium. Pero kung clear po yung sky, ganyan na ganyan po din ang makikita nyo sa buwan. Okay, ayan, so masyado daw matalino si Renz. Ayan, so sa mga nakatutok po ngayon, maraming salamat po for watching our live stream of the International Observe the Moon Night. Magpapaalam lang muna ako ng konti, Mr. Shiba Cruz, and I will check the sky kung clear pa rin so that we can do a live imaging of the moon. So mag-excuse muna ako, and siguro Mr. Shiba, you can continue with the next question. Alright,
yes, sir.
So
yes,
take it away, Mr. Shiba Cruz. Go.
So everyone, it is me once again. So it is only me once again. My apologies. But for the 6th question, guys, sasabihin ko lang to, but di nyo gusto na pag-farmin si Sir Renz ng pera kasi itong sunod na question is, I don't know kung likely nyo na masasagutan to, but I will be giving hints. So for the next question, or the 6th question, the moon keeps the same face to us. This only happens because the moon rotates at the same rate as its revolution around the earth. This type of rotation is known as blank, blank, blank. So guys, ano yung sagot? I-type nyo sa chat box. So ito yung hint. This is what we do every day when we join our classes. But separate siya. May separate sessions siya. Like meron sa morning and meron sa afternoon. If that's not the case sa school nyo, ganun sa San Beda. So, guys, what do you call what do you call this type of rotation? Ito, guys, or ibahan ko yung hint ko kasi a bit messy, but ayun, nakuha na pala ni Sir Renz yung sagot. So, tama yung sagot niya. Yung answer is synchronous rotation. Wow, ang galing mo, sir. Just chill lang po. Nagpa-farm na ng pera eh. Pero ang galing mo. You got the correct answer once again. Wow. So, Very very easy nga yung mga tanong to be this is very very easy yung mga tanong, and I am quite amazed kay Sir Renz na nakukuha niya yung mga tamang sagot eh. So yeah. My apologies, but guys, before I continue on with the next question, I would just like, kasi si Sir nag-join siya sa mismong topic natin kanina eh, but either way, I just want to talk about something for a bit. So so back then we had nothing but technology. Oh, sir, you're back here again, sir. Hello, sir? Wait, is sir here again? Oh no, he's not here again. Oh, so we are once again seeing a simulated video of the Waxing Gibbous. And hello, sir, you're back, sir. So, cloudy pa po ba?
Okay, so I'm back, and unfortunately, talagang hindi na makita yung buwan. Talagang super cloudy na talaga. And actually, hindi lang naman tayo ang naggaganito. For your information, mga ka-spacers, there are other organizations na naggaganito din, nagla-live. Pero ewan ko kung ano yung gagawin nila in this case kasi maulap. Pero at least tayo, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, we have this computer simulation. So at least kahit papano, mapakita po namin yung buwan sa inyo kahit maulap. So you are viewing on screen the Waxing Gibbous Moon at about 83% illumination. Okay, Mr. Shiba Cruz, ano yung sasabihin mo? Meron ka katang sasabihin sa ating mga ka-spacers natin dyan?
Actually, sir, I was just gonna be giving a brief information, sir, sa history ng moon eh. Because there are some of us, sir, that are looking at the moon right now, but have they ever questioned, sir, yung origins on how we developed our technologies, what technologies that were used back then. I was just about to give a brief information, sir, on the history of the moon. So, do you mind, sir, if I do? Because I'm really eager to speak a bit, sir, on this.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Shiba Cruz. O mga ka-spacers natin dyan ha, tumutok kayo sa sasabihin ni Mr. Shiba Cruz about the moon. And gandang-ganda ako sa t-shirt niya na NASA. Inggit na inggit ako. Sana meron ako niyan. Okay, Mr. Shiba Cruz, go, go, go.
Thank you, sir. So, speaking of the history of the moon, us humans have been staring at it for a very, very, very long time. As we can remember, ever since millions of years ago. So, now we have all of these technologies, all of these lessons, all of these discoveries that we have learned about astronomy, and we have already reached the moon. We have also as well landed on the moon. Now we are trying to reach for Mars, and we are trying to conquer that planet. But first, let us go back to when there was nothing, when we had little instruments, and those specific instruments were the stars. We use the stars back then, the Greeks used the stars as a form as their calendar to identify different seasons. Tama po ba ako dun, sir? They use the stars as their calendars. So as to what we know right now as the constellations.
Yes, you're absolutely right dyan, Mr. Cruz, no? So ang mga ancestors natin, they track our heavenly bodies like the moon and the sun, and in fact they came up with astronomical observatories. Like if you're familiar with Stonehenge and yung Bighorn Medicine Wheel sa US and the El Caracol in Peru. So they made these ancient observatories to keep track of our moon, our moon and the sun, and they came up with calendars. So isn't that fascinating, no, Mr. Shiba Cruz, no?
Yes, sir. It just shows that level of thinking, sir, that they were ready to adapt to their situation so that they can survive in such a dangerous territory where guns, where they had nothing to live on. So with that, with that in mind, now that we look at the present, we can see that many of these scientists that have contributed to our level of science right now, to our level of astronomy, such as Archimedes, Aristarchus, Ptolemy, Sergei Korolev, John von Braun, Eugene Shoemaker, and his wife, Caroline Shoemaker, Nancy Grace Roman, Annie Jump Cannon, and the sister of Tycho Brahe, Sophia Brahe, and many more astronomical figures that have learned so much and have contributed their learnings, instruments that have been refined throughout the years, and a lot more. Without those discoveries, guys, we as a race couldn't have landed on the moon, couldn't have learned more about the moon, and without the moon, we couldn't have learned more about ourselves. And we are about to learn more as we soon engage and go learn about it even further once we have established yung plan ng NASA right now. Yung plan ng NASA, sir, which was to land on the moon. And
okay. It's called the Artemis. So they are now planning this Artemis moon program. So someday rather, the Americans will return to the moon through their Artemis lunar program. Okay, so mga ka-spacers out there, if you want to comment about it, like if you want to comment about the Artemis lunar program of NASA, type nyo lang yung inyong comments down below sa ating comment section. Okay, Mr. Shiba Cruz, siguro magtanong pa tayo dahil kating-kanina talaga yung aking kamay na mamigay ng mga pang-ayuda sa ating mga ka-spacers natin na bilang pasasalamat po sa inyong pagtutok sa aming live stream ngayong gabi. And again po, please like and share our live stream tonight para naman po makarating sa mga estudyante natin out there at ma-inspire naman sila to love the sciences, especially astronomy. Nakakalungkot nga lang po mga ka-spacers kasi talagang ang ulap dito sa Manila, dito po sa Las Piñas, naka-point na po talaga yung telescope ko. Ready na po ako. Kaya lang talaga wala. It's negative tonight. Pero at least meron tayong computer simulation sa stellarium. Ito yung ating lunar image of the Waxing Gibbous Moon. So this is good enough po at sana ma-inspire din kayo habang pinapakita natin ang ating lunar image through stellarium. We dedicate this day, October 16, 2021, sa buwan ngayong gabi because we celebrate again International Observe the Moon Night, no, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, gusto kong magpasalamat. Congratulations again, Mr. Calianta, for answering correctly. Synchronous rotation. Ako, Mr. Shiba, mukhang yayaman tong si Mr. Calianta, no?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
And
siya, sir, sa next question natin, sir, eh. Like,
okay. Sige. So, ito na yung ating next question. Pang-ilan na ba tong question natin, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
It's the 7th question na, sir.
Wow, nako. 7 question na pala tayo, no? Okay, so, ang ikapitong tanong, nako, sana masagot nyo to. Magandang tanong ito. Bagay na bagay po sa atin, lalo na sa full moon, no? Okay, so, ang tanong, number 7 question ay, what? Ito binabagalan ko na po ha. Ayan si Miss Nicole, mabagal to. Para sa iyo to, iha. What do you call someone who went crazy with every full moon? O ayan, ulitin ko ha. What do you call a person or what do you call someone who went crazy pag full moon? Alright, type in your answers now. Go, go, go. Magbibigay po ako ng clue. Ayan kasi sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok, Sir, magbigay naman po kayo ng clue. Sa kabagalan nyo naman daw, sir. Sige, clue. It begins with the letter L. Okay, type in your answers now. Go, go, go.
Guys,
Go,
one more
simula sa letter L.
guys, one more hint is that synonym siya ng crazy. Synonym siya ng crazy.
Okay, may nauna na. Meron nang nauna. Napakabilis talaga nito. Ang galing talaga ni Mr. Joshua Biteng. Nako, naglalabanan sila ni Mr. Calianta talaga. No? Oo. Okay, so maraming magaling talaga tong si Mr. Biteng. Maraming salamat Mr. Joshua Biteng. And tamang iyong sagot. Ang tamang sagot ay lunatic. Woohoo! Lunatic. Ayan,
Let's
so pag
go!
ayan, kasi pag full moon, 'di ba, may mga nagiging crazy, nagiging loko-loko, gano'n. So, ang tawag dyan ay lunatic. Ayan, 'di ba? Okay. Ayan, Mr. Shiba Cruz, sana pag full moon nagiging lunatic ka din ba pag full moon? Ay, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Ayun, mabait tong si Mr. Shiba Cruz, kaya Miss Dasok, ayun na, makipag-chat ka kay Mr. Shiba Cruz. Together with si Miss Nicole, yan ha. Siguro after this, makipag-usap kayo kay Mr. Shiba Cruz. Ayan, he is available.
About astronomy lang guys ha.
Ganun ba? Okay, so maraming salamat Miss Shaima Juliana Sakandal. Tama? Sakandal, Shaima. Maraming salamat. Thank you for watching. And sabi ni Miss Daso, kayo ko na sir. Hindi Miss Annalisa, sasali ka. Naku, malay mo, maswerte ka. Bilisan mo lang iyong pag-type. Ayan, sige, pagbibigyan ka namin. Sige. Ayan, wag kang aalis. Tumutok ka lang, iha. Malay mo, manalo ka. Ayan, baka naman pwede kayong magpag-give dyan. So naman, Miss Daso, sige. Ayan, basta tumutok ka lang at bilisan mo lang iyong pag-type. Sige, pagbibigyan ka namin. Okay, so maraming salamat Mr. Biteng for the correct answer. That's lunatic. Ayan, okay. So again po mga ka-spacers, you are watching on screen our Waxing Gibbous Moon at 83% illumination. And we are viewing the image of the moon using this computer program called Stellarium. And because unfortunately, we cannot have a virtual telescope viewing again because of the weather. Talagang maulap po. And even though my telescope is already outside, ready to point at the moon and to give you that magnificent image of the moon, kaya lang talagang maulap. So talagang sinasabi nila, astronomy, moon gazing is at the mercy of the weather. Talagang kaming mga amateur astronomers, we are at the mercy of the weather. Okay, pero I'm sure in other parts of the Philippines, baka clear yung sky and you can take a picture of the moon. Sige lang po at habang nandito pa ho kami, you can take a picture of the moon and bibigyan po namin kayo ng konting pang-ayuda. Just share your lunar image dito po sa ating comment section and we will present it po. So thank you for watching. Tumutok lang kayo and please like and share. Ayan po. And anong sinabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok? Pakibasa nga, Mr. Shiba Cruz. Anong sinabi niya yung last?
Sir, yung sinabi niya, sir, is mga 15 pesos po kami maghahati sa 50 pesos.
Ganun ba? Okay. Hindi naman, Miss Dasok. Oo. Basta bilisan mo lang mag-type at mananalo ka. Hindi mo na kailangan maghati. Kayang-kaya mo yan. Okay, sabi ni Miss Nicole Quijano, sir, saan po namin isa-send yung GCash? Just message us sa aming Facebook page, the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers. And doon sa mga winners po natin po, pakibigay lang po inyong mga GCash account po. Just message to us. And bahala na po yung aming treasurer na magbigay sa inyo ng inyong ayuda. Because tama yung mga sagot niyo kanina. So we would like to invite again everybody na tumutok lang po kayo. Join kayo pa sa amin. Join po kayo sa aming pa-contest ngayong gabi na ito. Okay?
Wow.
Sir,
may tanong po si Nicole Quijano. Saan daw po na isa-send ano bang isa-send yung picture of the moon?
Yes, Miss Quijano, is that the picture of the moon or yung Gcash mo? Yan, paki-specify lang iha. Okay. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Shaima sa Kandal, Jeje daw. Jeje daw. Okay, so maraming salamat. At least alam ko nanonood si Miss Shaima sa Kandal. And thank you. Please like and share, Miss Shaima. Like and share po yung ating video. Okay, sabi ni Miss Dasok, picture ng moon po ba rin? Yan. Oo. Pero dapat yung talagang picture mo sa cellphone ng buwan. Wag mo i-google para we can share it sa ating mga viewers. Ayan. Okay, sa comments mo ba yung pic? Yes, opo. Sa comment section na lang po para makita natin. Okay, yung picture po ng buwan, sabi ni Miss Quijano. Okay, so ayan, ito po yung ating lunar image. And in behalf of the BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers, we are celebrating the International Observe the Moon Night. Okay, gusto ko lang po din i-shout out ang ating mga administrators po sa San Beda University Senior High School. I'm sure nanonood po sila ngayon, si Mr. Benji Sonaho. Hello, Mr. Benji Sonaho. Ayan, and nanonood din po sa atin yung mga ibang administrators. Maraming salamat po sa pag-support sa aming organization. Thank you. And stay safe po. Yan, and enjoy your weekend. Lalo na si Sir Benji na talagang busy siya talaga. Halos araw-araw siyang busy. Ayan, okay. Sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok, picture na ng buwan po ngayon or kahit old pic? Ano kaya? Anong sa tingin mo, Mr. Shiba Cruz?
Sir, if kung ngayon po kasi is, alam mo na like, it's very rare for the both of us since we're both living in a very cloud, where we cannot really see the clouds.
Oo, dapat, Picture dapat ang buwan ngayon. Oo, di ba? Picture ng buwan ngayon. Yan, okay. Ayan so sabi ni Mr. Shiba Cruz, Miss Annalisa Dasok, dapat yung picture ng buwan ngayon kasi we are celebrating tonight International Observe the Moon Night. So dapat makita natin yung Waxing Gibbous Moon kasi hindi natin makita talaga ngayon dito sa Las Piñas. Oo, kasi my telescope is in Las Piñas and hindi namin makita yung buwan ngayong gabi. So dapat, saan ka ba ngayon, Miss Dasok? Anong lugar mo ngayon? Yan, i-type mo lang. And shout out din sa one of our officers ng BSYA, si Mr. Miguel Aliastante. Ayan, okay. Shout out daw sa hardworking moderator. Alright, so ako ay napasubo lang po mga ka-spacers. Hindi po talaga ako host pero nagpapasalamat po ako sa mga tumutulong sa atin ngayon. Isa nga dyan si Mr. Miguel Aliastante. Maraming salamat, Miguel. So keep it up. And wow! Grabe! Si Annalisa Dasok pala, taga Zamboanga.
Wow!
Okay, and si Nicole Quijano, talagang Zamboanga din pala. Oh
Sir,
my gosh.
nakakalayo na pala tayo.
Oo, layo pala natin. So, sige Miss Dasok, clear ang sky dyan. Oo, walang kaulap-ulap dyan. Nandito kasi yung bagyo Ayan, if you can take a picture of the moon, kayang-kaya mo yan. Sige, go, go, go! Ayan, si Miss Ella Galvez, ayan, from Zamboanga din. Wow! Ako'y natutuwa at abot na abot pa lang ating live stream ngayon sa Zamboanga, no?
Nakakalayo na tayo, sir. I'm very
nakakalayo na tayo. Okay. Ayan, so gusto ko munang pasalamatan lahat yung mga nag-react ngayon. Gusto ko magpasalamat kina Miss Angeline Kilang, kay Mr. Miss Florence Pauline Gardose Basubas, kay Mr. Renz Guyver Calianta na ilang beses lang nanalo. Maraming salamat po, sir. Ang ating yung ating head ng tech committee na si Mr. Stanislao Maximilian. Si Dudes Pereira ay nakatutok po sa atin ngayon. Si Dudes is the founder or the moderator of BSYA Alabang. Yan, nakakarating po na tayo sa Alabang. And si Mr. Charbel Paul Rosel, marami pong salamat sir. Kay Mr. Christian John Gonzalez Venturan, thank you po for watching our stream tonight. Kay Miss Judelyn Rose Pelinya, maraming salamat po ma'am. Kay Mr. Jason Villesa, yan taga-Alabang ito, and nag-meet kami niyan once sa Robinsons dito sa Las Piñas in one of our free public telescope viewings dyan sa Robinson and sa Alabang Town Center. So maraming salamat Sir Jason for watching our stream tonight. Mag-comment ka naman Sir Jason na talagang medyo na-miss kita. Ayan. And yan, si Mr. Alias Tante, thank you. Yan, sa mga masipag na officers natin yan ng BSYA. Si Miss Alexia Rose Valdez, thank you ma'am. Si Miss Sakandal, all the way from Zamboanga. Grabe. So maraming salamat Miss Shaima for watching. Like and share para makarating naman din yung ating live stream sa mga classmates mo. And kay Miss Nicole Quijano, thank you. And kay Miss Andrada Veronica, maraming salamat. Kay Miss Ella Teres Galvez, again all the way from Zamboanga. Wow, ako'y natutuwa po at wala akong masabi. Thank you ma'am, thank you Miss Galvez. Kay Mr. Jovic Inson and kay Mr. Joshua Biteng na ilang beses na rin po nanalo sa ating Pakhantes ngayong gabi. Okay, ayan, hello kay Miss Valdez. Thank you for watching our stream tonight. Thank you kay Miss Sakandal. Ayan. O ano? Isa pang tanong.
Yes sir, meron pa sir, may mga tanong pa sir, 3 pa to be honest eh.
Oo, magpamigay na tayo ng papremyo. So
Yes,
go
sir.
go Mr. Shiba Cruz, why don't you give the next question?
So,
tayo? Question number 8. Go
yes
go.
sir. So this is a very very famous song guys, so I think all of you guys know this, but name that popular song about the moon sung by Frank Sinatra.
Oh, ayan, Miss Daso. Go, go, go.
Meron na, sir?
Hindi, wala pa.
Ay, sige, sir. Okay,
Ulitin mo yung tanong.
Once more, I will repeat the question. So, name that popular song about the moon sung by Frank Sinatra. Come on, guys. Chat nyo lang sa chat box, guys. Kung gusto nyo pa ng hint, baka mapapakanta ko kasi one of my favorite songs talaga yan. Ayun, sir. Sir, nauna po, sir. Sir, nauna po.
Oo, may winner na tayo. May
Yes, sir.
winner na tayo. Okay.
And that is the correct answer, guys.
Ang nanalo ay si Miss Sydney Lee. Ayan, ang sagot niya ay Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly
Yan.
me to the moon.
Yan.
and
Fly
let
me to...
play
Yun.
among the stars.
Yun. O yan, tignan mo Miss Dasok and si Miss Sakandal. Yan, di ba ang galing kumanta ni Mr. Shiba Cruz? Gusto nyo marinig ulit siyang kumanta ng Fly Me to the Moon? Sige. Sige, take it away, Mr. Shiba Cruz.
Okay, sir.
Kahit isang phrase lang.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on a Jupiter and Mars. In other words, please be true. In other words, baby, kiss me.
Yan, okay.
Ayun na, sir.
Ayan. Oo, sabi ni Miss Galvez, ayan, yee, Shiba. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Galvez, yee. Then, sabi ni Miss...
with my Frank Sinatra impression, sir.
Oo, and sabi ni Miss Annalisa Dasok, ano daw yung tanong? Hindi, sige. Okay, so ayan, pumapalakpak si Miss Alexia Rose Valdez. Ayan, kay Mr. Shiba Cruz. And sabi ni Mr. Renz Calianta, let me play among the stars. Ayan. Okay, so maraming salamat. Ayan, Mr. Shiba Cruz, meron ka ng fan, si Miss Ella Therese Galvez. Ayan, fan ka na niya. Okay, ayan, alam niya yung Fly Me to the Moon. Okay, so ayan, maraming salamat. Ang nauna ay si Miss Sydney Lee. Ayan, si Miss Sydney Lee. Okay, so palapakan po natin si Miss Sydney Lee. Ang sagot niya ay Fly Me to the Moon. Okay, so again mga ka-spacers, we are viewing on screen the image of the moon using this computer program called Stellarium. Okay, so again po, please like and share. I-share natin po itong live stream so that we can inspire young minds out there to love the sciences. And I'm sure na-inspire na sila Miss Annalisa Dasok. Yan, hindi po kami papayag magpa-end ang live pag hindi po kami nanalo. Okay. So, mga ka-spacers, sige, pagbigyan natin ha, wag muna kayong sasagot ha. Pagbigyan natin si Miss Dasok na sumagot. Yan, anong masasabi niyo diyan ha? Para mag-end na tayo dahil gutom na ako. Okay, sabi niya, ay di daw siya papayag mag-end ang live stream natin pag hindi po daw siya nanalo. Sige, so may tanong pa ba tayo, Mr. Shiba Cruz? Meron pa ba tayong isang tanong?
Sadly, sir, this is the last one eh.
Ito na, oo.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yan. Okay, so ito, sige, pagbigyan natin si walang sasagot ha, mga ka-spacers. So, tingnan natin si Miss, pagbigyan na natin si Miss Dasok. Tingnan natin kung alam niya itong tanong, yung sagot ko sa tanong na to. Okay, ito ha.
Especially kay Sir Renz, kay Sir Joshua, and kay Sydney.
Oo.
Huwag kayong sumagot.
Muna kayong sumagot. Pero huwag kayong aalis dito sa live stream natin kasi nagpapasalamat ako na nakatutok pa yung ngayon. Okay, itong tanong na to ay binigay ng isa sa mga officers ng BSYA na si Miss Mary Juliana Villanueva. So kung nakikinig ka iha, maraming salamat sa tanong na ito. Ayan, okay. So ready ka na ba, Miss Dasok? Si Annalisa Dasok. O game ha? O pag wala, magbibilang si Mr. Shiba Cruz ng pag ilan? 20. Kapag hindi ka pa sumagot ng 20, i-open namin yung tanong sa iba.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Okay, ang tanong, Miss Annalisa Dasok, all the way from Zamboanga. Okay, grabe. Ang layo talaga. Pero ako'y nagpapasalamat sa mga taga Zamboanga ngayon na nanonood. Sige, so ito na yung tanong, Miss Annalisa Dasok. Who is the Greek goddess associated with the moon? O yan ha. Who is the Greek goddess associated with the moon? Ayan. Type in your answers now. Go, go, go! Yeah. Come on. Okay, ayan. Naku. Mukhang, ayan, sige, pagbigyan natin, sige, bigyan natin si Miss Dasok dahil tama ang sagot. Sige, ako'y nagpapasalamat at ako'y natutuwa sa mga taga Zamboanga ngayon eh. Tama naman yung sagot ni Miss Dasok, tama siya. Pero ang nauna talaga ay nauna si Miss Sakandal. Ayan, nauna siya. Okay? Hindi pala. Hindi si Miss Sakandal ang nauna.
Yes, wrong sir yung sagot eh.
Oo, sabi ni Artemis ang sagot niya. Oh, talaga nauna talaga si Miss Dasok. Wow! Nauna siya. Okay, galing. Oo, sabi daw ni Google. Sabi daw ni Google. Oo, so ang tamang sagot po ay Celine. Yan. Okay. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Kate Aquino, Artemis, pero Celine yung tamang sagot. Tama rin yung sagot ni Miss Sakandal sana. Pero nauna si Miss Dasok, nauna na siya. Ayan na, Miss Dasok, we can end our live stream. Okay, ha? Ayan. Sige, Miss Dasok, please message BEDAN Society of Young Astronomers pakibigay ang iyong GCash account at ibibigay namin sa iyo ang aming ayuda package at paghahati-hatihan yan nila Miss Valdez, ni Miss Sakandal. Ayan, sino pa yung mga kasama mo dyan? Si Miss Nicole. So, 15 pesos hindi. Joke lang. Okay, so ayan na Miss Dasok. Pakibigay na lang iyong GCash account. Okay, and you will receive your cash prize in real time. Ayan, okay? Alright guys, so paano ngayon yan? Mr. Shiba Cruz, it's time check. It's 9:11. Dahil nakasagot na si Miss Dasok, siguro pwede na tayo magpaalam at makapagpahinga na rin tayo. Wala, sorry po mga ka-spacers, talagang negative po tayo ngayon sa ating virtual telescope viewing. Pero again, ako po ay nagpapasalamat po sa mga nakatutok po ngayon, sa mga sumali sa aming pa-contest, sa mga nag-react po, nag-heart react, nag-like, saka yung nag-care react. So maraming salamat po. And please like and share this video, this live stream, again so that we could inspire young minds to love the sciences, especially astronomy. Okay, walang anuman po. Maraming salamat po sa mga sumali, sila Mr. Calianta, sila Miss Dasok, si Mr. Sydney, si Miss Sydney Lee, and meron pang isa si Miss Biteng, Mr. Biteng, yan. Okay. So again, you are viewing a magnified image of the moon, again using this computer program called Stellarium. Ayan, so sana namangha po kayo sa aming pinapakita ng lunar image ngayon using this computer program. And yan, nakagitna po yung ating Copernicus crater. And the Copernicus crater was named after Nicholas Copernicus, who proposed that the sun is at the center of the solar system. Ayan, so yung Copernican model or yung heliocentric model. Okay. Ayan. Ay, Miss Dasok, hindi lang 30 pesos. Naku, mas malaki pang matatanggap mo. Ayan, okay. Ayan, yan sabi ni Miss Quijano, Sir, mag-sunbeda na po kami. Oo, why not? O, diba?
Transfer na guys.
Ano bang grading nyo? Kung so kayo dito next year, grade 11, no? At matutuwa si Mr. Benji Sonaho. Oo. Oo, we need you guys. We need you dito sa BSYA. Yan. And sa mga nakatutok ngayon, you can join our activities sa BSYA. We have upcoming activities like yung mga virtual telescope viewing ulit kami. Kung medyo clear na yung sky, pero hindi na International Moon Night, pero okay lang.
Meron pa rin naman atang mga pa-premyo ba, sir? Meron ba?
Oo, ulitin natin to. Yan, ulitin natin to, Miss Dasok and Miss Quijano. Siguro pag wala nang masyadong bagyo, ay uulitin natin tong virtual telescope viewing. Kahit walang event, no, Mr. Shiba Cruz, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, mga bago magpasko, mga November or December, yan. Kasi amihan season na yan, wala nang masyadong bagyo. Okay. Grade 12 na pala si Miss Sakandal, saka si Miss Dasok.
Sayang.
Grade 12. Si Mr. Shiba Cruz, grade 12 yan. Mag-ano kayo, mag-message kayo kay Mr. Shiba Cruz. Stalking nyo yan. Stalking nyo yung Facebook niya.
Pero guys, kung sana grade 11 kayo, recommend ko talaga sa San Beda because nandito si Sir Jun, very passionate sa astronomy, sa pagtuturo. Na-inspired ako, guys. Like dahil sa kanya, nandito nga ako ngayon sa club na to eh.
Ay, si Mr. Calianta pala, grade 7 pa lang. O yan, pwede. Ayan, so maghihintay ka pa ng ilang taon. Pero okay lang yan. Hihintayin ka namin and you can join BSYA.
Ayan. Palagi si Sir.
Ayan, sabi ni Miss Dasok ulit, magiging present na daw sila sa next live stream natin. Ayan, so yan, thank you Iha. And siguro maggaganito ulit tayo, magpapa-live stream tayo ng buwan. Telescope viewing siguro after undas na. Medyo pag wala na masyadong mga weather disturbances. Ayan, okay. So, paano? Yan, sabi ni Miss Nicole, Renz, pahiram daw ng brain, sabi niya. Pahiram daw ng brain. Okay, so ayan na nakikita niyo po on screen our magnified image of the moon. Ayan, so sana namamangha po kayo sa image natin ngayong gabi. And again, sa mga nakatutok po ngayon, please like and share our live stream. Okay, so paano yan, Mr. Shiba Cruz? Siguro kailangan na nating magtapos. And maraming salamat po mga ka-spacers natin dyan out there. Ayan, binabalik na natin yung buwan sa kanyang original size. Ayun. So paano, Mr. Shiba Cruz? Magpaalam na tayo sa ating mga kasuki natin out there. Ayan, at marami tayong nakilala ngayon. Sila Miss Dasok, sila Miss Quijano, sila Mr. Biting. Yan sila Mr. Calianta. Ayan. Paano Mr. Shiba Cruz? Sige, I'll give you the floor. Paalam na tayo.
Thank you, sir. So, guys, with that, we first of all, we thank you for watching our live stream on behalf of the I'll paraphrase that, but on behalf of the BSYA, I would like to thank all of you for attending this virtual telescope viewing. It's not really a telescope viewing since it's a simulated one, but thank you guys for watching this live stream. I am Shiva Matthew V. Cruz. Stay calm and be still. Let your mind wander freely as if it is you're floating in space. And always be curious and don't be shy. Sir, gusto mo ba, sir, na gawin, sir, yung parang ginawa ko, sir? So that, sir.
Sige, go ahead. Bago ako magpaalam. Sige, go ahead.
I mean, sir, you say your lines now, sir.
Sige. So, again, marami pong salamat sa mga nanood. And again, sa mga winners po natin, ayan, linagay na po ng ating internal vice president yung mga winners, like sila Mr. Biteng, Mr. Calianta, Miss Sydney Lee, and si Miss Dasok. Ayan, so again, don't forget to message us. Pakibigay na lang po ang inyong GCash account para mabigay na namin yung inyong mga prizes. Okay po. And marami pong salamat for celebrating with us the International Observe the Moon Night. This is your ka-spacer and space commander, Sir Jun Cajigal, saying, live long and prosper. Okay, so maraming salamat guys. Thank you for watching. Mr. Shiba Cruz, any final words?
Nothing anymore, sir. I'm really tired na, sir. So thank you guys for watching.
Okay, bye-bye guys. Thank you po for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you for celebrating with us International Observe the Moon Night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye guys.